maintaining. As we navigate the complexity of governance, the partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I must report to you that we are leaving behind a better economy than we inherited. Today, President-elect Joseph Nima Bouaka will inherit a stronger economy than I inherited. There is a bigger net international reserve position than was handed me in 2018. I inherited 94,999,000 United States dollars in net international reserves. And I am handing over to the next administration a net international reserve position of 200.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries, but there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity. It concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence, 30 years, prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brandon Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and now prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years, unconventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with a U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at large for war crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2000, to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Oh yes, it's time for the men to engage. The boys are going to sleep, and it's time for the men to engage. However way you want to interpret that, that's the business. But let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you, to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight. It's Wednesday in the Republic of Liberia, and it's the 28th day of January 2026. Winner for Port Riches, happy birthday to you, bro. It's important to recognize all of you celebrating your birthdays today. Those of you celebrating your wedding anniversary as well. Those of you bereaved, we extend to you our deepest sympathy. We empathize with your pains, the pains you feel. Those of you who brought newborn babies to earth, today we say congratulations to all of you. I know my man Windia Nimle is celebrating his wedding anniversary. And let me say happy pre-wedding anniversary to you, Windia Nimle, on January 31 or 31st, 2026. Windia will turn 15 years in marriage. Wow. A lot to talk about tonight. Those of you watching, I want you to see the list. See the list. See the list. You got nothing to show. Nothing. Hey, you better spot. If you want to do screenshot. A litany of issues to talk about tonight. Long list. We have a series of video recordings to play. We are going to do the show tonight along with some supporters of the Unity Party expressing their own disappointments, their own criticisms towards the performance and the manner and form in which the president is engaging or lie about his achievements during the State of the Nation address. We have a video recording, an interview done by Joe Barker at ELBC while he was still an opposition leader. Information Minister Jeremy Matthew Pierre has also provided something he called clarification over the misinformation or lie presented by his boss, Joe Barker. Our folks from the fact-checking group have also released their fast-check 2 statements made by Joe Barker. We are going to play you those. We are going to play you the recording. The fast-check Barker's claims about the jobs and Barker's claims about education. So we're going to play that one. Oh, just a long list of issues. I don't even know where to start from tonight. But it's all going to be about the Unity Party. So now we ask the Unity Party folks whether they still think George Weah did nothing. Do you all Liberians, do you still think with all of the lies we've been exposing about the UP, with all of the activities, everything UP people have been doing, the governance performance, do you see anything new that Joe Barker did not do? I mean, that George Weah did not do? Do you see UP doing anything that Weah did not do? Okay, yeah, let's take a break quickly.
I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
Thank you, Old Man. What happened? Wait, something is malfunctioning here. So we have to pause it. Yeah. No. Oh, the boy is leaking. It seems to be leaking. Okay. So welcome all of you, Vinicius Jr. But how do you manage? Vinicius, how do you manage? You are always amongst, either you are the first. If Dubon Hill is not commenting, you are always the first to comment. You know, I don't know how you manage. But anyway, it says that you are actually a committed and ardent follower of the show. So you are always in time for the show. Let me welcome you, Vinicius Jr. Ba and Sue Famule, Moses Bese. No sound. Moses and no sound. I've not heard this for a long. Those of you watching the show, can you validate whether the live does not have sound? Because I see there's a comment. JMB song is just right under Moses Bese. He says, "Good evening, Rules Nimlin better." Is following Henry Tour. I'm not seeing any confirmation besides Moses Bese. No sound. Let me see whether I can go down and see. I don't see anything. Okay, somebody said the sound is okay. Okay. Probably was from Moses's gadget, but I think it's okay. Henry Tour, welcome to the show. Samuel Kofi Woods Jr. It's been a while. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. J. Augustus Help. It's good joining you. Musa Sharif, William W. Wulu, Honorable J.D. Williams. Welcome to the show. Gospel is also joining. Augustine Musa. Pakasa has joined us. Dubon Hill is following. Sia Faya has joined us tonight. It's good to have you, Sia. Happy Farmers Cooperative Society. What is that? What is that? Okay, no. My man, if you do it, yeah, with you want advertise, you come here. We pay advertise. We partner with you to advertise your engagement. Okay, we can show you that, Junior Sequoia is joining. Mohammed Masakwe, City Geeks, Comfort Cooper, Abraham Kroma, Abu Bakr Sharif, Karim Kroma, Hine, God Grace Hine, Augustine Tali, Karim. Okay. Hine says, I have video for you, sir. Okay. But Hine, I think you have messaged me before on Messenger. So just send me the video. If you want to send it on WhatsApp, then but I announced my WhatsApp number on the radio the other day. So send the video to that number I announced the other day. And I will announce it later on for you to send the video to it. Stephen Fala, Juje Wonwe, Jerison Tukpa, all of you, welcome to the show. It's good to have you all joining us tonight. Okay, let's go to. So, somebody sent me a text and said, Austin, is that water you're drinking or is something else? And I said, it's water. I reply him and say, it's water. And he said, no, but why is the water not label? I said, for business reason. I'm a student of marketing now. So, okay, let me just say business, student of business. So I know why it means to just be on camera, your stuff, and just use and just display branded goods or services, without being paid for. So we all have our small followers and our fans and people who believe in us. So obviously, it's obviously clear that that water also in your drink. Okay, it means the water is good. So I have done free advertisement for that water brand that I will advertise on the show while I'm drinking. So that's why I removed the label on the from the bottle, because it says to you that we do not have any business commitment or relationship with any water in the country. So I can drink any water, but I don't drink any water, but I don't advertise the water I drink on the show because I'm not paid to do so. So the company got agents listening. We've been telling them, oh yeah, we are open to doing business with everybody. So if you think you want us to advertise your water on our show, or you want to partner with the show for us to advertise your water, good. The partnership, we are open to partnership. But as I speak, we're drinking water, no name. Our water, no name. No name water. 0776 72270. That's the WhatsApp number for this show. So you send anything for this show particularly. So once you send anything to that number, I will receive it. That's the WhatsApp number for this show. 0776 722 705. Okay, so okay, let's move on to the conversation is getting bigger. The conversation is getting bigger and bigger by the day. And I will start with this video. Where is the message? Let me start. Cavani, all they meeting say, yeah, I want to we don't do this. We lie. Now all the videos, all the recordings, we play them with that. Everything. So you hear for yourself. So, where Ijamago? Ijamago got a message. Ijamago has a clarity, a breakdown, a complete breakdown of the jobs that Joe Parker created. Let's listen to Marcus. Hmm? Marcus needs to tell us the breakdown. He has broken down the jobs that Joe Parker has created. So let's listen to Marcus keenly. Listen.
Now, the president delivered a speech yesterday. In his speech, the president said that we created over 70,000 jobs, and then the whole social media got boosted. Where people from opposition, they say, oh la la. Even the United Party partisans, some of them, they say, oh la la. Living in Liberia, that job is out. You don't know that full-time employment to be in Liberia or living in Liberia? So you want to work also? You don't go really, you see the people that go back up women and the way they can do money via car funding or in the planet job. Go over there. You see people funding for car for 3 hours, 4 hours, just to go to town. That one that job. When we go to the club, those short time we can call when they get there, short time or somebody out there, how much for the night? They charge you that job. Because you want to pay a Lagos, that one that make you not see drunker, how they can walk. You are at work, you are fully employed. So be in Liberia area when you work on that when your work starts. Once you bring you in Liberia from JFK or from any hospital, by the time you see the light, you start work. Oh, you want to work also go where now? Poverty is a job. If you don't know, go to other countries. They people decide when to eat, how to eat, and where to eat. For here, we do not decide eating. Anytime it comes, that work. Oh wait, you want email? Go eat it now. Okay, when you go in the market to go buy, you want buy cheap things. Now walking around, you can walk all around looking for the cheapest one. In that job? Oh, you want to get to eat? Go here now. There, fufu here. Why you can eat fufu? So even if there's a fufu, that knocking, you get knocking. The strength you're using, you not working? In that job? It's all. Because when you graduate from you're supposed to be retiring now from the job market. Because you're feeling fighting for armchair. You're not low for chair, man. You're fight for chair. Oh, boy. And now, you prep a car to go home. You prep a car to go on campus. That way. You on Facebook defending say everything okay in the country. The president saying he has created over 70,000 jobs. Then boom, you jump on and say, oh la la, who are you? Who are you? Okay, the strain you get right now. So even argue on Facebook. To say, oh la la, can I job? You're not working. You are in front on the phone. Let's also talk to Solo GB. Can I job? Market women selling in radar, what I'm not to allow. Oh, where political money behind the whole day. You're not working, you as a market, you're not running. You're not, so not job, you're not working, not job. The amount of people that are running behind actual speed, right? When it came to Liberia, that jobless people there, somebody who not get job will run from West Point straight to Iraq. It's making for that job. Please, now listen. They give me the bound to display right now.
Okay. So now when I have been in the magazine breaking Parker's job, done. See, oh, let's listen to Gafan today. Augustine Gafan has something to say. And let's listen to what the Minister of Finance had to say today. Okay. Asata Miller, welcome to the show. The folks there in Dole community, welcome all of you. Melvin Brown of District 14, I call him District 14 Town Chief. Welcome. It's good to have you following tonight. But let's listen to what Gafan had to say today in regards to, in response to where this is your finance minister. We're taking it step by step. We should start with fast check. Okay, let's take Gafan video, then we'll go to fast check. This will set the basis for our conversation tonight. Fast check, and then yes, look, I found this.
I don't like issues. People come here about the days of fun. You don't say about the case, right? So I'm saying Samuel goes where because the hand of the coffee. You know, he also people Samuel. Some people call it Samuel G where from our early days, I call him Samuel goes where he knows that. So for you guys, I'll be confused. He gave you this about. He said something in an interview that I agree with. When they asked him about job creation during his era, he put his hands up. We're very honest about that. He said the capacity we need to do better with the Ministry of Labor and this religious and others in building our, our ability to system for tracking job creation. And that's why we started. Have we achieved it? I will be the first to say no. There have been some rough job trackers, but we're investing in it so that the country can get better and more robust job creation numbers that you all can get. So we're working on it. I learned fully with my predecessor on that one. And we're working on it.
So he's referring to a software, a system, or to call that everybody. I remember I was one of the person who criticized uh, Minister Tue on this one. We found at the labor minister then, Councillor, Councillor, oh God, I'll get his name. Don't worry, I'll get his name. So we found at the labor minister then and the minister of finance during the CDC era over the fact that the government had gone 3 years and we were still complaining and finding it difficult to establish a system. I'm told there is a department. I don't know. I have visited that department before during Eddie's time, and I know there is a department that used to be at the Ministry of Labor called the Department for Labor Statistics. I don't know whether that department still exists at the Ministry of Labor, but basically that's what that department is supposed to be doing. Labor statistics. There used to be a department called Department of Labor Statistics at the Ministry of Labor. At the time Eddie Johnson Sirleaf was president, I know that there's a lady who used to be director for that department, and I visited there on a research tour, and then we had a conversation. So I don't know whether that department exists. But if the department has been existing, it means I've been inactive or dormant. Then it's useless of having it, because you can be having a Department of Labor Statistics at the Ministry of Labor, and then we do not have, we are still struggling as a country to trace or track job creation or jobs created by the government. So for me, I had issue with the CDC government then, and I said it on the radio on the same show, that after 3 years, we can be admitting that we have not created a system or activated a department either at labor or at Legis for labor statistics. If we don't have any department called for labor statistics under the labor ministry, then probably it might have been transferred to Legis, or if it does not exist at all, then it says something about our governance reform process. And that's why if it is not there, then the question is who dissolved that department or that bureau? Because I know it used to be there. And those of you who worked at the Ministry of Labor then, Nito La, who was currently at the Maritime, he used to be deputy minister there. Prince Copper used to be assistant minister there. Marco White used to be assistant minister. All those guys are unity pilots. Unlike Prince Copper, I don't know about Prince, but I know Marco White is a unity pilot. Interestingly, Marco White is also appointed also as assistant minister. They all used to work, and so I know that there used to be a bureau of labor statistics. So if that does not exist, then the question is who dissolved it? Why is it not existing? If it was dissolved, why was it dissolved? If it is still existing, then what are they doing there? That the entire country is struggling to track jobs created in the country. So it's important that I mention that. So we all welcome for criticizing the CDC government. The CDC then, after 3 years, we do not have a system to track jobs. Now, the Unity Party used that as one of their campaign messages after Tue admitted. It is simple that today Gafan is saying he agreed with Tue then. But then, Gafan did not agree with Tue. The UP used that admittance as a propaganda tool against the CDC government. All of the session today, Gafan, after 2 years, they have not even given attention to it. But because the very two men called them out, and all of fact checkers, so he's compelled not to come back, honest shame and deception to say, I agree with him. But in 2021, when Tue said the government falls short of creating a system to track jobs,
Government did not agree. They used that, they formulated that as a propaganda tool and used it against the CDC government. And they ran with the narrative that George Weah government did not create any job. Let me repeat. They formulated, they used that and made it as a propaganda tool and formulated a narrative and marketed or sold that narrative to the people, using it again as a propaganda tool to infer that we did not create any job. Did they sell? To some extent, to a larger extent, yes, because there are many Liberians who did not support George Weah. Many of them who did not support George Weah believed the narrative, the realm of the narrative that Weah created no job. Today, the question is, do you still believe that Weah created no job? Do you still believe that Weah did nothing? They are all admitting now to their wrongdoings. Now, let's move forward for Gafan. Let's go to Pia. Let's listen to our information minister. Let's listen to our minister of information. Our minister of information. Let's listen to him.
Then what to do about what we always do is to have our interaction with you, the Liberian people, to be open, to be transparent, and to just be truthful. And in that line of wanting to be truthful, we would like to start our comment on the annual message from a point that was made by the president during the delivery. And I'd like to quote that point before I say what I'm supposed to say. In the message as it was written and read by the president, it says, the speaker and members of the legislature, nearly 3 years ago, I assured the nation that roads be connecting communities with opportunities. And one person say, in furtherance of this commitment, we focused on restoring key corridors and expanding secondary roads. We increased Liberia's paved roads from almost 12% to at least 20% and maintain more than 70 kilometers of major roads. Unquote. This portion of the message is in honest contrary to the submission of the Ministry of Public Works. Here is what the Ministry of Public Works submitted. And whatever that information was, those developing the speech, those analyzing the speech, do not fall short of taking full responsibility.
You guys are stupid. And they think everybody is stupid like them. Let me just carry this back again so you listen to the sense of the logic in this. Let me carry back. This
Expanding secondary roads and maintain more than 70 kilometers of major roads. Unquote. This portion of the message is in honest contrary.
This portion of the message is in earnest, meaning to be sincere. So it's like saying earnestly, this portion of the message is contrary.
That portion of the message ran contrary to what the Ministry of Public Works submitted to those compiling the speech or those writing the speech. That's what he said, excluding the Ministry of Public Works. That's what he said. Let's go. I needed to underline that and grasp or catch the logic that the Ministry of Public Works submitted a narrative to the speech writers for the president or to include in the president's State of the Nation's address to the legislature or to the people through the legislature. But those writing or compiling the speech paraphrase. They didn't exclude what the Ministry of Public Works said. They didn't exclude it. They didn't shortcut it. But it is paraphrased or it is rephrased in the speech. So they may have rephrased it or they rephrased it and included it in the speech. So the Minister of Information is saying to us that narrative was contrary to what was submitted by the Ministry of Public Works. So let's listen to what was actually submitted by the Ministry of Public Works. Then you will know and believe that the Minister of Information is telling you that what Public Works submitted was not excluded. It was not shortcut. Instead, it was paraphrased or rephrased by the speech writers. Hence, it did not meet or it ran contrary to the actual text or narrative that was submitted by the Minister of Public Works. So let's listen to the actual submission that the Ministry of Public Works did.
And whatever that information was, those developing the speech, those paralyzing the speech, do not fall short of taking full responsibility in the big area. And as a responsible government, we admit that they did a misquotation far away from what it is of all works. And I think as of yesterday, they made the necessary correction. So if you went to the executive mansion website, for example, you will find the actual submission that was made by the Minister of Public Works, which I brought to read. That submission was in pursuant of this vision, and the vision is where it says that the speaker will ensure that rule of leaders. They went on to say, in pursuant of this vision, my administration has taken all steps to reduce Liberia's field road deficit from less than 12% to at least 20%, while simultaneously prioritizing maintenance of major road corridors to ensure that no vehicle stops in the walk from it during the inception of the administration. During this period of review, we have successfully maintained several and 50 kilometers of roads nationwide, restoring year since they made the necessary corrections. So if you went to the executive mansion, vision is where it says that the speaker will ensure that
Listen to him again. Listen to the liar.
they went on to say, in pursuant of
His
this vision,
vision,
my
administration.
administration has taken all steps
Mhm.
to reduce Liberia's field road deficit
Mhm.
from less than 12% to at least 20%, while simultaneously prioritizing maintenance of major road corridors to ensure that no
Listen to him. Oh.
this.
Mhm.
They went on to say, in pursuant of this vision, to reduce Liberia's big road deficit from less than 12% to at least 20%, while simultaneously prioritizing maintenance of major road corridors to ensure that no vehicle stops in the moment permits during the inception of the administration. During this period of review,
Okay. So you've listened to the video, the audios are not done yet. We still have more to play. We're setting a base, we're setting the foundation that would lead us into establishing and closing the chapter on the lies or the conversation about, oh, Baga people lie, they can lie. I know the entire country now believes that Joe Baga is a liar and he's leading a den of thieves and liars, but we have to establish them using facts on this platform. They will close that chapter and move into other developments. That's what we're doing tonight. Now, Mr. Pierre is saying to us that this is the exact narrative that was submitted by the Ministry of Public Works to the speech writers. In pursuant, according to him, he said, in pursuant of this vision, my administration has taken bold steps to reduce Liberia's paved road deficit from less than 12% to at least 20%. Now, there are two things here. One is that the percentage used were incorrect, or the percentages used or reported were incorrect. The 12%, whether it's a combination of George Weah and any Johnson study, 12% is incorrect. The 20% used by the president of roads that have been paid is also incorrect. So the two percentages are incorrect. Now, the government could not replace those percentages because it would have been extremely embarrassing and shameful to them. So they say, let's maintain the two percentages and then create a narrative or generate a narrative that will fit into the two percentages that we use. That's how they created this narrative. They could not have said that the Ministry of Public Works did not submit accurate data, because folks in the Ministry of Public Works that are already speaking to us, we're going to start releasing documents, and they might even release documents. So they say, let's shift the blame, which was not smart enough. They say, let's shift the blame on the speech writer. Now, Mr. Pierre's so-called clarification does not add anything up to the president's repetition or to the repetition of the president's office. Nobody in the president's office now can come out publicly to say, I was part of those who wrote the president's speech, who compiled the president's speech, who edited the president's speech, who read the president's speech. Nobody. You know why? Because their repetitions have all been placed on the dark scale. One person does not write the president's speech. I listened to Dr. Clarence Moneyba the other night, and he was publicly boasting and bragging. He was proud of himself, and some of us are proud of him. He was proud to say that at the time he worked in the office of President Sirleaf, he was one of those who used to write the president's speeches. You know why? He could probably say that because they know the toughness that they had to apply, that they invested in ensuring that President Sirleaf's speech, that President Sirleaf's speech or speeches met best standards with less controversies, aside from the political criticism and everything. In this case, The Minister of Information is informing the public that the speech writers included in the speech inaccurate information or data. Meaning, they led the president into lying to the world. That's what the Minister of Information has said. That the speech writers included or inserted a wrong or inaccurate narrative contrary to what was submitted by the Minister of Public Works that led the president into lying or presenting fake data and fake number to the public, to the world. Then the question is, what are those speech writers still doing in the president's office? If the president truly believed that what the public works submitted was not what was exactly included in the speech, what are they doing in the office, in the president's office? What are they doing in the president's office? What action, administrative action that the president has taken? The second point is the Minister of all sector heads. All sector heads, either they are directly involved or they subcon their technicians that are responsible for data to work with the speech writers or speech developers for the president. They furnish them with data. The Ministry of Public Works does not develop narrative or sector heads do not just develop narratives and send them. They chase data, they chase information and send those data. For example, payroll 2025 payroll 3.4%, representing 8.2K or 92.8 kilometer. That's what the technicians will submit. How they develop or tailor that narrative does not concern the Ministry of Public Works. That is why they kept the 12% and the 20%, because the Ministry of Public Works is the one that actually lied to Joe Barker. It is Giddings and his technicians that actually send 12% and 20% to the ministry, to the speech writers. And the minister wants to fault the speech writers. I know there are some of them who are angry. Besides that, they are proofreaders. They are proofreaders. There are proofreaders in the president's office that proofread his speeches. Especially for the SONA, there were many. So after the entire speech is compiled, is completed and compiled, including editing, final edit, then it goes for proofreading. In fact, in some cases, editing is a request to even rehearse the speech. So they're telling me that Joe Barker did not rehearse his speech. That's what they're saying. The Minister of Information is saying the president did not rehearse his speech. That's very weird. So they are saying to us, Joe Barker did not rehearse his speech. The speech writers, they compile the speech, they finalize it, they edited the speech and everything, and they printed the speech and placed it in the folder and then kept it for January 26th. Joe Barker did not rehearse the speech. And my disappointment is in some of the journalists who attended the press conference. There's some big brothers in the media who tell you, media coverage. Some of us can overlook some news, some media owners can overlook reporters. I don't know how to see reporters. So we see reporters as the least people in a journalism chain. That's how some media owners see reporters. But you know what? In news gallery, those of us who went to journalism school, in news gallery, they will tell you that the reporter is the first editor. Because he or she is on the scene or was on the scene, they saw the action, they witnessed everything, they have first-hand experience, so their story idea is more or should be more informative and authoritative than even the editor sitting in the newsroom. The reporter is expected that the reporter will be more knowledgeable about the news article than even the editor in the newsroom, because that is his beat. He or she should be familiar with that environment, with the issue that he is developing for editing. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as a reporter, and it's not bragging, it's not boasting, okay? We have coding school we practice with. They know our line of questioning when we go to interview people. They know. No matter tell you say, oh, it's a soft or no, you may go and you know how to ask question, you know what kind of question to ask. No. Because you have to ask questions that will unbalance or make news for you. What we are taking to have even ask here this question. There are many questions to ask. What you are asking? Was the Ministry of Public Works or the Minister of Public Works part of those who prepare or wrote a speech for the president? Or the writing of the president's speech? You will answer something and there will have been a need for follow-up question. Because sector heads speech writing, and when the speech is completed, they all sit down. They don't share the speech to them for review of approved reading. They all sit down in that conference room. The speech is PowerPointed. The speech is PowerPointed, and they all sit down, and the secretariat team is sitting there strolling through, and all the sector heads are there reviewing their different lines, their different areas that they submitted. They read together because it's going out. And that's how it's supposed to be. So where is this experience? Where is the experience? Where is the experience? The Minister of Information cannot be excluded from the final proofreading session of the president's speech before printing. All sector heads are not excluded from the final proofreading session of the president's speech. It's a team of technicians and sector leaders that sit down and work to compile the president's speech. We know these things because we have been around, we understand the system, and Jeremy Pia knows this very well, but he chose to accept, to lie, and call a clarification. This is not clarification. A follower embarrasses the speech writers. It does not exclude the Ministry of Public Works to any sound or reasonable mind. Because the fact that roles were included in the speech, it means the Ministry of Public Works had a role to play. Where did the Minister of Public Works role in? Should be a question that Pierre should have answered from a report. Pierre he's compounding the problems. He's not solving the problems. He didn't solve any problem. And as the Minister of Information, you are supposed to fix problem. The government really making mistake. Joseph Boakai blunder. Everybody is struggling to clarify. Anything that comes from the Minister of Information is supposed to rest or close the chapters. How come the Minister of Information's clarification unquote is opening new chapters and inducting new actors or players in the government? It further indicts the Minister of Public Works. Two things they say. One other, he did not have a role to play in the preparation of the speech, or he did not conclude the role that he was supposed to play in the preparation of the speech. The second thing is the speech writers themselves should be suspended or chastised upon it, because Pierre is saying that not public works. Public works wrote a speech, they send it there. The team public works sent there. That now the speech writers put in the speech. The speech writer put their own setting in the speech and misled the president into lying. At that point, the speech writers are supposed to take responsibility, not just Pierre announcing that the speech writers taking responsibility or took responsibility or may have taken responsibilities, but administrative disciplinary actions were supposed to be taken against and announced, because this is not Joe Braga's repetition because he does not have one. This is the repetition and the integrity of the presidency. Braga is only an occupant of the presidency, and he has less than 4 years to occupy that seat. So it's not about him. It is about the integrity, the repetition of the office of the president of the Republic of Liberia. Tomorrow, Joe Braga will be out. Those technicians who are in the different departments that help to write the president's speech, compile the president's speech, edit the president's speech, will still remain there. But we say the entire office in the president, the entire session in the president's office is responsible for the blunder. You want to say public works because he's your friend, or he's a star of the Unity Party. He's one person who believes he's never wrong, he knows everything. Those are the arrogant people. They're always trying to fix themselves or shield themselves from mistake. Giddens presented fake data. Giddens must be told that he presented fake data. There is nothing here to justify. Okay, because if they had just said, oh, that is speech writers, the question is, who sent the percentages? Who sent the number? Did the speech writers create the number? Did the speech writer create the 12% and the 20%? No. The 12% and 20% came from the Ministry of Public Works. But those numbers were inaccurate. So to save the Ministry of Public Works, let's shift the blame on the speech writers, because the public does not know who the speech writers are. But the public knows who the Minister of Public Works is. They know they are deputy ministers and everything. So let's save them. Since the public does not know who the speech writers are, let's use them as a scapegoat. For some people, like some of us who are around, who know how it works, we will know that it is not possible for the speech writer's responsibility is to phrase or paraphrase or rephrase the president's speech or develop narrative to suit the data or to fit the data that come in when they are structuring the president's speech. That's part of the development process of the speech. So all you do, roll your into the far for the 8 kilometer row, blah 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 blah, representing 4.2%. Now all public works got to do, send the percentages in. It is the responsibility of the speech writers to formulate the narrative or the text that will suit or clearly present that data that was sent to the president's office to prepare the speech. So all the speech writers did was to prepare the text to match the data that was sent in. So they're saying, oh, the speech writers should have said, in pursuant to this vision, my administration has taken bold steps to reduce Liberia's payroll. Payroll's deficit from less than 12%. That does not make sense. The first thing, our payrolls in the country are not 12%. So nobody wants to use data like that. A flat percentage there. Percentage normal like you apply, you're not estimating. So apparently student myself. But at least some of us who are business students, we know when people use the kind of thing. Less than 12%. at least 2%. We know when these things are used. But you've already done an assessment. You've done you've done an assessment. You've done an evaluation already. You have all of your stacks available to you. You multiply them and develop the percentage. So you can't come in the presence with me estimating percentage. Who does that? So Pierre is saying to us that even public works does not know the exact percentage of roles that have been paid by George Ria and Eddie combined. They don't know. There's no exact percentage of the total number of roles that were paid by Eddie and George Ria. So they say, oh, not 12. Then you have no number there. So, Joe Barra said he won't care. Then Joe Barra restricting the number of roles he wants to pay to 20%. He said he won't pay more than 20%. He said he won't reach it to 20%. So, why do you want to reach the road to 20%? Let's do the math and see. The number of roles that have been highlighted to be paid by Joe Barra. And more than, if he does those roles, there will be more than 20%. Like your total paid roles will be more than 20%. So how can he's restricting it to 20% when the budget is reflecting that Joe Barra intends to pay more than 8 kilometers of roads? How come? So these guys have to be they have to be sincere. But I say this to you, Joe Barra's government, the UP government, major problem. Their major problem is that their biggest nightmare, as you say, Joe Barra and the UP's biggest nightmare is the propaganda standard that they established for themselves while in opposition. Let me repeat. Joe Barra and his UP's biggest nightmare is the propaganda standard that they established for themselves while in opposition. They set that standard. The narratives they sold to the voters, the narratives they sold to the voters in 2023 and before are what haunting the UP today. Because of that, they have to lie. Even when the lies will be detected, they care less. That, oh no, when we lie, these guys may detect the lies. Then somebody will say, oh, but they may detect the lie, man. Who are they? What kind of school they went to? That UP people read it. But they detect, who are they? What kind of school they went to? We will justify. Any issue, we debate the issue. UP men read it. Just so they care less. That's why I call them shameless liars. They are terrible. They are terrible leaders. UP is a race. I don't have to repeat myself because we told you all way back that UP was a race. We told you UP was a disaster, a terrible disaster just waiting to explode. And that explosion will that explosion will affected your living conditions. Roads will they will start pretending that they are paving roads. They will not pave anything. They will pretend like they are reducing price of basic commodities on the market. They will reduce nothing. It will have no effect on you because they will announce reducing the price of rice. And your purchasing power, the economy will be so tight and bad to the extent that your purchasing power will drop. Just as they will be dropping the price of rice, your purchasing power will drop. Purchasing power is your ability to pay for goods and services that you need. That is your ability to pay or your capacity to pay for goods and services. Or some may say neither goods and services. So if you cannot pay, if you cannot afford, or you don't have the capacity, the economic might to pay for goods and services that will meet your desire, it becomes useless of government announcing price reduction. That's what happened with the rice. They say the rice price dropped, but you do not have the purchasing power to pay for the rice. Even if they bring rice to $10, Liberians will not have the capacity to buy rice $10 because they are not working. Businesses are not going. Nobody is going in market to buy. Nobody is going to China Benin to buy. They have increased price on all input materials. APN terminal is a disaster. They didn't change it. They have B tests and metals and all the tests to the port, creating hardship and business bureaucracy that will increase taxes on the people. Go to LRA, they have increased taxes, GST. We told you last year, you didn't listen. At the end, the government is increasing GST. When government increases taxes or GST, every time they do that, who bears the burden? You. You bear the burden, not the government. And I also reminded you the other day, I said to you, I remember in one of our public finance class, the instructor asked us, should Liberia, okay, let me just use Liberia. He said, should citizens celebrate? Should citizens celebrate when the government announced reduction in prices? That was a question asked. I still remember that question. And that was 3 semesters ago. The instructor said he asked repeatedly, and he said, but there were random answers. He said, okay, class work. The question was, should citizens celebrate only because government announced reduction in price? And there were many persons answering in the affirmative, saying yes, with price reduction is a good thing. The citizens should celebrate because it will reduce the prices of basic commodities and they will be able to buy, blah, 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 blah. So he took the paper, he received all the papers and said, you know what I mean? I'm not pleased with the answer of the paper, so we discard the papers. I want your verbal explanation. Maybe I'll honestly, you make most sense. Let's begin interactive. And he divided the class into 2. He said, let's debate. You have 5 minutes to research. Let's debate. You know, and at the end of the day, he said, there is a reason why, he said, no one citizen will celebrate when the state government reduce prices, especially it depends the economy to the country. Our country's illiteracy rate is so high to the extent that people have not gone to school to be able to understand complex policy decisions that are taken or announced by their government. So in most cases, citizens will celebrate, especially in our Liberian context. It is likely possible that citizens will celebrate once a year the government announced price reduction. He said, but for those of you who are students of public finance, you can't be telling us, sitting in a public finance class or public financial management class, and telling me that you will celebrate just because government announced price reduction. So why should we not celebrate when government announced price reduction? Yeah, look at the factors. Why is the government reducing price? How is the reduction going to apply? Because once something is so high up and you reducing, it means there should be a liability that is supposed to shift. Liability is supposed to shift. Is the liability shifting to the government or is it shifting to the citizens? Are the citizens, is the government increasing taxes to fit in or to accommodate the price reduction? Is the government providing subsidies to fit in for the deduction in the price of rest or goods and services? So when you start to ask these critical questions, somebody sitting here, you will say, no, the men are ordinary men, because the kind of question men asking, they may understand a lot. So we say, let's go to the numbers. Let's see our GST. Government has increased GST to 5.8%, upward to 12%. Government is proposing value-added tax regime, teaching or tax regime to introduce the VAT. The VAT, the citizens will pay more because you pay for everything. Everything you buy, you pay. Everything you buy, you have to pay taxes on everything you buy. Everything. Besides that, the government did not provide subsidy to rice. There's no record to show that government subsidized rice at the time they announced reduction in the price of rice. They need to provide subsidies to rice. So I mean the regime is changing. Even though we were selling rice at $16.50 under George Weah, but Liberians were able to buy the rice at $16.50 because the government was providing subsidies Meaning that 50%, I mean that 50% reduction in the price of rice, government say if it amounts to 28 million or 30 million, we will take the 30 million and pay it from our considered account or anywhere. Off from our domestic revenue. Tax, GST did not increase, VAT did not increase, tariff didn't increase on the import. Factors remain constant, but rice price is reduced to $16.50 on the George Weah from $17.50 to $16.50. But all five factors remain constant. Under the UP, rice price is dropped or reduced to $15, but the everything is not constant. The import tariff on rice has increased. The VAT on rice has increased. Subsidy is cut off. Government is not providing subsidies anymore. Government is increasing GST, meaning you're paying more now on goods and services. So if you're buying water $40, if you're supposed to be buying water $40, it means every time you buy one bottle of water, the GST only increases. But that government makes no money. So all the money government is like calculate, is what made we reducing rice price to $15 from $16, 2% to $15. That $1, they spray across on water, they put it on beer, they put it on apple, they put it on different things. Social services, for example, they put it on them. So we get our money back. And once they put GST on consumables or goods and services, because goods and services are consumable. So when they put it on consumables, just know that not the government paying for it. That you paying for it, you consume it. They water that I drink, when I buy it, you see the LRA sticker or check on the bottle. I pay for it. So when the water is produced, you go buy water from the supermarket. Supermarket buys the water, LRA stamp is on it. The supermarket is not going to sell that water, they will buy it from the factory. The supermarket is going to put their profit on it because they want their money back and have to pay GST to LRA. So what to do? If they're supposed to sell the water $100, they sell the water $1. So you go to the supermarket, also you buy the water $50 or $60 or $100. You go to the supermarket, you buy the water $180 or $1. That $180 or $185. Who is he paying? You, not the government. Who benefits? You, I mean the government, not you. So yeah, you don't celebrate. You have to run analysis before you celebrate government reducing prices. Because necessarily it might not even be on goods and services. They could put it on something else. Fuel, gasoline. They could increase it. Put the taxes or the fares or the charges on fuel and gasoline. And when they increase the tariff on fuel and gasoline, the Tesla driver who going by will have to pay. The price of petroleum product will increase. Transportation will increase because the price of petroleum product increase. So the price will increase for you, the citizen. At the end of the day, you are the one paying for all those services, all those fares, indirectly or unknowingly. You don't even know you're the one paying. Oh God, the live audio is low. I don't understand. So the police keep on it. They very low. They put it on it. What kind of stuff they do? You bury the bread tomorrow. Don't celebrating because somebody increased GST. Increase price tax. Today, everybody. The problem is about right. The little you the price down in the 4 point. because the quality has dropped. Yeah? So these are technicalities that we have to explain to you before you go running around celebrating that government has been doing. Now, let's move on to something. And here, I want to play a little recording here. Don't walk out into the island. Don't walk out to those years. And the war bank was still relevant. And the war bank was immense. Instead, the war bank was a business. Making business. So nobody take that data. Now, I said then, today, they are all relying on war bank. They are all relying on island. Somebody out there have to come here and help me to set this down. I don't know why.
I said, well, I think nothing is going through. Nothing is going through. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know. It seems like nothing is going through. Yeah. So yeah. So those who can manage, let's just manage. Those who those who listening via the radio, we do that for the show tonight. Those who cannot manage via the live, we apologize to you all. But let's play Joe Braga's appearance on ERPC years ago when CDC was in power. He even appeared on ERPC as an opposition leader. Joe Braga today, I dare you, tell them to invite George Weah. Just tell them to invite George Weah on ERPC. They will tell you no. They will tell you no. But Joe Braga appeared on ERPC when CDC was in power. Let's listen to him.
You live here just as much as I live here. Are the Liberians seeing what the international seeing? You live here just as much as I live here. Are the Liberians seeing what the international seeing? Or the internationals, are they the one living the life?
In another word, you don't respect whatever the opinion or the rating of the International Monetary Fund. This is a fund that you're working with.
Well, they themselves are doing their work and they know what they're doing, so it's up to them. I mean, but I know that whatever they say, what's important, more important to me is what the Liberians say about their own economy, about what they're feeling. That's more important to me than what the IMF say. The IMF is a business.
Yeah. Did you hear how the paper concluded? The paper concluded with a denigrating statement that the IMF is a business. IMF is a business. So yesterday, IMF was a business. IMF had their own thing they were doing. They had their own work they were doing. He refused to acknowledge or affirm the data coming from IMF. The reports that were being released by the IMF, he refused to affirm or acknowledge them because Minister Twe had a good relationship, built a good relationship with the IMF, or improve or enhance the relationship with the IMF. And so he was always making references to Liberia's partnership and Liberia's relationship with the IMF. The UP did not like that. The UP folks criticized that. The UP folks made you to believe that working with the IMF was a wrong economic path, was a terrible economic path that was never going to project or enhance growth in our economic growth in our country. Those were the narratives they gave you. Say working with IMF will keep Liberia stagnated economically. Working with the IMF will keep Liberia will place more burden, will continue to increase Liberia's financial burden. It's not going to solve Liberia's infrastructure problem. Working with IMF will never solve Liberia's electricity and service delivery problem and all of that. So we need to get all of the IMF and focus on they call it diversify. We have to diversify the economy. We need to invest in agriculture. We need to invest in this, invest in that. They say all of that. We need to expand the private sector, pay attention more to expanding the private sector by creating jobs that will create jobs for Liberians to work. Those were fun narratives that Liberians bought. 2 years on in the presidency, Joe Braga is unable to pull out of the IMF program. If he's sleeping in bed every day, IMF is romancing him every day in Gavon. The program that he refused to acknowledge yesterday. Somebody says the sound is better now. I hope so. The program that they refused to acknowledge then is their darling girl today. The IMF that they refused to acknowledge has become their darling girl today. Every day, IMF, all day 25 million grant. So these guys, like I said, these guys' major problem, the biggest nightmare is the propaganda standard that they established while in opposition, and the narrative that is sold to the people, to the voters. Today, yesterday, they made the voters to believe that working with the IMF was a bad economic approach. They made the people to believe that IMF was never working with them will never develop or enhance economic growth in our country. He said IMF was a business institution yesterday. So they were profiteering from their partners. They come here and attract you with huge loan portfolio, and then they take their interest. They are cutting their interest. So it was not a decent program to be in. That's the inference that they gave you yesterday. Today, Joe Biden is standing on the foundation of the IMF. Joe Biden is heavily dependent on the data, the statistics that come from the IMF and the World Bank, and reporting to the legislature, making reference to IMF and World Bank statistics. I mean, can you imagine the stats that were not reliable yesterday? The very statistics that were not reliable yesterday on the CDC from the IMF are the statistics that are reliable today, that should be considered reliable today because it is on UP. And we say no, we reject that. That's why we consider this a deception. That's why we consider this a risk. It's a risky venture. That everything when a different party is in power, then IMF becomes useless, World Bank should become useless, and no NGOs should come here. And when NGOs pull out, it is because the president is inept, it is because the government is irresponsible. When you come to power and the NGOs cannot come back and you cannot bring the NGOs back, then you say it's global issue. You find justification. It's global issue. No. Those NGOs those NGOs were here because Ellen knew them. That's what I said. They pulled out because George Weah did not know them and they did not know George Weah. So they pulled out. Joe Biden is connected. 45 years experience. When you're making president, all those NGOs that left would have returned to the country. When Joe Biden became president, the biggest NGO operating in the country, you say, pull out. The largest donor to the government, pull out. Then they say that diplomatic issue. But USAID was funding other projects on different programs and different NGOs. USAID was funding projects on different NGOs. Carter Center, NDI, Action Aid. All these NGOs were here. They were all benefiting from USAID funded projects. USAID pulled out. I mean, Action Aid started pulling out. GRZ then started pulling out. And you all say because Joe, we are in power, that's why GRZ left Liberia. That's why Action Aid left Liberia. That's why the other one left. The biggest donor, not the government, when you became president, they ran away, they pull out. Then you come crying and say, we should listen to you. No. You know Donald Trump, go, he's your friend. Elon Musk is your friend. They are the ones running America. Go to them, let them send USAID back, or let them send different NGO back, or let them send money here to work with others with other NGOs. Let them send money. You can speak good English. You have a good diplomatic relationship with America. One of my people used to drive for me. I can vote in every day when you see me. So when you ask me for money, I say, my man, I'm begging you. The jobs here. During the campaign, my man, they picking. Oh, I saw the picking on Facebook because all I said that people were supporting UP. But he was with me because of the CDC. I knew you were not supporting CDC. So I told my picking, you don't have to go against the people's decision to support we are because of my business. So if your people, he's the smallest in the family, all the people there are UP people who are saying, no man, support your side. After 2 days, I saw the man on Facebook. Lavo, when Baka went District 17, I saw the man, the papa is here. The job will flow, job will waste. More companies will come, job will waste. And told My madam saw a video on Facebook. Oh, Austin, so were you there? He doing the thing on Facebook. He going live and then that provocation. I said, no. This is no provocation. This is democracy. This man, besides his relationship with me, is entitled to his right to decide who to vote for. I'm not going to tell him stay away from me because he's for you supporting UP. But he went, oh, vote. So I told you, I called and said, my man, let me tell you something. Everything we said on the radio, I said to him because I used to be working. He would be here in the morning. We'll go all around together. That's it. If it depending on Joe Barker to bring any company here, Joe Barker will not bring one new company here until he leaves power. Because we know how companies can come to country. We know what can attract companies to country. We must all say thank God to Eddie and Omio that serve as a security what do you want to use? Guarantor. Omio was a guarantor to the companies that came here because that was a UN peacekeeping mission. So that was a guarantor to all those companies that came here that put into this place. Yes, Eddie knew them. She went to them, but they used the US peacekeeping mission here as a guarantor to say, yeah, let's take the risk to go there because UN is there. UN has a peacekeeping mission. So all the companies, even those companies that came here, most of them did not start operation in 2007, 2008. Most of them began operation between 2010 onward. And some of them pull out. Even Honor Edding, they pull out. They could not sustain because they couldn't risk pumping the serious money. That China, you stay owing government. You gotta be calling them back and forth. For the family has to be renting them back and forth to pay Liberia's debt. So they pull out. Some of them Chile, yeah, where is Chevron? They all ran. So I told him, I said, look, Joe Barker does not have any capacity to attract any company, any investment here. Don't waste your time. You will come back, all these investments that you saw him criticizing, you will come back to work with these same investments. They criticize AML. Today, AML is the savior. The biggest savior in Liberia, like AML. A clap for AML. But they were fighting AML. Today, AML is the biggest savior for the 200 million. Sam, boom, you get 200 million. Dishing out 5 million to the affected countries. Pumping different million all on this side. Scholarship wasting all around. AML that they were fighting. That they said were bad. AML did bad. AML did bad. When we told them, no, don't fight the company. Don't damage the company's reputation. Sit on the table and have a conversation. They will listen. That's why they are a responsible company. Today, where we are, they are happy now. They said the worst about APM terminal. They said the worst about Metex. They said the worst about all these people. Where are they today? Do you know GTM? GTMS. They want cocaine. I want coming for our beginning next week. They want cocaine fitan woman and bring on here. Say the worst. Where is it today? The cocaine fitan woman is in bed with them now today. And GTMS is still operating. Metex agreement was renewed by his own managing director. APM Terminals agreement was amended and extended by his own legislature. What he knew in those agreements didn't change rack. They criticized them. When he came from them, when the beginning came from them, I said, oh, man, where are the jobs? Where are the companies? You know, you say, manager, they can call me manager. Manager. They put food on me. Then we laughing. He said, Cheers did that thing. Cheers, you won't get enough gas. Cheers, the people fool, I'm not allowed to you. So listen to you. The people fool, I'm not allowed to pay fee. See, you can say fee, see, but war in a use. I can't use that war on radio because I have war. Eh? Most of my beginning in District 17, who I used to see behind different political parties, like UP, running behind UP. Today, and you know what? I did not get angry with any of them. The stage to be behind UP in the area camp. Oh, bro, chief, and you know, chief, we sit down, we operate, we do, we go home. Because I knew, you see, when you tell the child, people in the pankana, the child said, no, nothing there. They say, the first time I heard this parable was from my late mother. You know, so rest in peace. She said, when they tell the child, I know I used to be high-headed too. Especially during my junior high school days. Oh, I used to be high-headed. So he said, Austin, the thing I'm telling you, when you tell the child, say, don't put in the pagana, put in the pagana, the child say, la la, you want something, the man, go bust the pagana. The poo will splash. But they say it will flash. It will flash on your face. Yeah? So it will bust, it will flash on your face. That's what happened to all my beginning in District 17. So when they come to me now, she was yes, no connection money, I can't run here. I don't know, DJ Blue, our lawmaker. Yeah, he's our lawmaker. I support them in so insane time. But when the need be, for us to make different decisions, we make that decision. But Blue, our lawmakers, they're supporting. But the point I'm making is now they have bust the power canal, the poo water is splashing on their faces. Now they're coming back and saying that true it all. Even the very UP people in the UP leadership in District 17, they are angry and disappointed in the government's performance. Some of them is on personal reason, personal grounds. Some of them feel neglected, that they've not been given job, they've not been called for any foreign scholarship, nothing. No empowerment, no programs for them. The UP has not formulated any programs to at least build the capacities of those United Partisans who supported them and cannot get job today. They can. So they are frustrated. And they are all my friends. They are all my friends who've lived in that place for over 2 decades. So they are all my friends. I see them, they're expressing their frustration, their disappointment. I say, my mayor, me. We told you anything here, you say, you don't go bossy. You have been bossy, a splash on your face. You don't disturb us. They drink our beer, they drink our style, they play our football. Don't give people a hard time. You have to see leaders and see quality in those leaders. If a man had worked in government for 12, I asked the other old man, I want to see you all that day, I want to see your son. And I asked them, they were all in UP t-shirt. Because they saw me, my boss man, I'm UP, that CDC male. So I said, the old man, they won't put ourselves together, but they get respect for me. So I said, why are you giving the old man a hard time for me, man? Old man be UP, man, people support UP. Don't give them a hard time. How we here? My past support the United Party. I need to say that your old friend, so you're supporting too, you're supporting him. Now I'm doing, I say, go support him. My pa used to be a comedian, you're coming for UP people. That a friend, that old friend. So I used to be focusing on that old AC and one yeah. Yeah? So I was supporting we are my pa was supporting Joe Baca. But I know my pa, the things my pa was seeing then, you were old enough to see them. Because look, let's be frank. So I asked the picking man, I said, oh man, let me just ask you one question here. They may supporting. If your son, you see your son getting BB job, Google job, you see your son coming here with a car, you look shining, you doing this, you see, oh, my son get there, my son get a job. You know your son making 2-3K every month. For more than 6 years, your son made that kind of money. You hearing it? You finally come to your son's house and you say, you see the place your son living. It's not even conducive, it's not good. How you feel? She said she will. He said, I will feel bad. Astagfirullah. I will feel bad. I said, no, don't say Astagfirullah. I'm feeling you. I asked her again. I said, suppose in the case where you can't do your son house, who feeling making all that money? Time to pay away to go home. Your son say he not get money to go to pay away. He broke. How will you feel? I know in your face. So now the teacher said, they go for pay or something like that. That one can happen. So or son started laughing. Or son laugh. I said, you funny, oh. I said, I'm asking the question because the man you say you're supporting, that man is older than you. She said, yeah, I'm supporting. I said, wait. I said, but that man, they forget about all the jobs he held the time when I'm born. I said, they forget about it. Because he was minister when I'm born. The time when I'm born, Joseph Boakai was already minister. So they forget about that one. All you are LP IRC managing director. The time I was still sucking titty. So all the positions he held, we agree that those positions, those jobs were not lucrative. But then, Minister of Agriculture, LPMC boss, or LPRC boss, let's agree they were not lucrative compared to now. So we put everything away. We throw all away. But let's start from 2006. The time Liberia started to see real money in government. Or started to understand that real money in government. I said they man was vice president for 12 years. She said, yeah, that's true. I said, but after the 12 years, the vice president, who served as vice president for 12 years, they pay his salary, everything. He didn't pay, use his own money to travel. They pay his drivers, they pay his security, they pay his cooks or his nurses. Everything his children went to school, free school on government scholarship. You are not paying your children. I said, so the man, after all those years, 12 years, the man come back to come be president. Then he tell you, say, he ain't get nothing. He poor. He living on loan. I said, when your son can't tell you say that loan, that credit. I say credit. I say credit. Living on credit. He has to credit to eat, to feed himself. She said, yeah. I said, yeah, but what the man say? She said, she won't hear. I told the video. Think what our video said. I played the video for her. She said, hey, God. But what we do now? We all everything wearing the t-shirt that old people. They can never change that position, that choice. When they wear that t-shirt and call that people and say, I'm a sire, don't waste your time. They're not changing their side. So she said, what will do now, my son? We're wearing the t-shirt now. That wearing t-shirt she's talking about, I mean, she feeling making a decision to support Joe Boakai. She's not changing. Don't waste your time behind the old people there. When they take the side, they take it. You go all around, you come back. It's difficult to see old people traditional people who are, old people who are traditionally grounded. It's difficult to see them take side to support leaders and they change or switch. Yeah? So she said, but I'm feeling wearing the t-shirt now. We're feeling wearing the t-shirt now. So we can't do anything now. I said, no, Oma, I don't want you to change your side. I just telling you because I want you to know that the mayor is not responsible enough to manage our country, to control our country, to run our country because 2-year vice president, he lavished all his money, he spent all his money, he come and he say he depending on credit. That credit he living on. He depending on credit to survive. I said that irresponsible people can do that. You eat all. You don't keep nothing. You save nothing. You invest anything. To even feed yourself, you see, you have to go to the bank to credit money to feed. To use the word sustain. Say to sustain myself. I said, you want us to trust our country with a man who depending on loan, who living, who is surviving on credit? You make that man president, he becomes a bold-faced liability to your country. Everything from your country will be for him. He depends your country to eat. The people are going to pay her or furnish his house, pitching a car, do everything for him because he been living alone. He ain't get nothing. You can make the kind of man president for your country. He ain't got any international reputation, anything, no clout, nothing. Who gonna come here because Joe Biden president? No. What kind of investor is going to come here because his friend is president for Liberia, Joe Biden? I said nothing. Nobody. He ain't get friend. What happened today? 2 years ago. Have you seen anybody come here and say, Mr. Baka is my friend? I've known him for all those years? No. No. You've not seen anybody? Have you seen any new investment? No. So I told her, I said, Omar, I want to tell you because when Joe Biden become president, in a presidency, I will come back here to come visit you. So I went to her on the weekend. I go visit her on the weekend. And I said, let you know, Omar. So she saw me, she started laughing. She laughed for long. Long, she just laughing for long. I said, Omar, what are you laughing for? She said, no, my son, you just can't fuck me. Oh. I said, no one can fuck you. I can't speak to you. She said, no, I don't want you to speak to me. When I'm ready for you to speak to me, I will call you. I cook the water, and then we sit down with a hand. But I said, no. No, I just can't speak to you. I told you after the election, I will come to you to speak to you. But I was waiting for 2 years because the first year, you were going to say the man just take over. He sit down here. So I waited for him to sit down. All year he sit down. Then again, another whole year again he work. When he finished sitting down for 1 year, the second year he work. Then down. The third year now, I can see you for all to look at what he achieved or what he do in the 1 year that he sit down for. Say, my son, that review, I see nothing. He do nothing here. Myself, there. I can want toss of that when I see the people who can go around laugh because she said in the market. She said, I can want talk when I see the camera. But I don't want to talk. I said, no, man, not talk. Just do your business. She said, what a business, my son? I used to go say, before Friday, I used to put my susu every Sunday, $100,000. She said in Grumpy, and you know, she said every Sunday she used to put $100,000 for susu. So imagine how many money she used to make from Grumpy for selling Grumpy. She said, me, every Sunday I used to put $100,000. She said, I saved that money for all the year on the job we are. No day on the job we are Sunday can. And not gave $100,000 to my susu. So for 6 years on the job we are, that old man was giving $100,000, saving $100,000 every week. Times that money and see how rich that woman is. And trust me, rich in the contest, she's okay, she's well. She's not suffering. She's not suffering. She built houses and things. She's good. That woman saved $100,000 every Sunday. She take it. My susu money. My susu money. My susu money. Every Sunday. So it means for 4 weeks, it means every month that woman was saving $400,000 Liberian dollars. That's almost $500,000 she was saving every month on a George Weah. So imagine how many millions of dollars she saved for 6 years on George Weah she was making. Just imagine. But you know what she said? She said, oh no, the Senate government can. The first thing, we can hardly see people to come buy Grumpy. Grumpy, what people can eat. Fake Kanya, fake Grumpy soup, fake this. She said, we can hardly see people to come buy Grumpy. How much she said she can save now? It's now 25,000, so now 20,000. That was susu money now. From 100,000 every week to 20,000. What she's saving now susu. So the 100,000 susu she was in, she dropped. She not inside now. She in the same susu club, but her amount dropped to 25,000. That is she saving now. So now she said whole week she can't get the $25,000, so she gotta go and pay some. So now she pay 17. So now she pay 18. So now she pay 20. Just like that. Then the next week she completed. That the country here, Joe Biden say good, a sweet, jobs are created, and breast price has dropped, and people are enjoying. This is the country. You see all of the cameras. I said this, you will never see Freedom FM camera in the street. I'm not the manager for the station, but I can say this because I know we are here managing the station. I know. You know what? You will never see Freedom FM camera in the public, in the marketplaces. Yeah, how you doing? Is everything okay? No. You know why? Because we've said everything we had to say. We've already branded it. Say, oh, but we CDC station. Eh? So we're not carrying our camera. You always say that CDC people will carry the camera too. This is an open challenge. Fake your camera from ELBC. Carry your camera, carry ELBC camera in Stephen Talbot Estate. I'm calling Unity Party strongholds. Take ELBC camera. Don't carry Nikutan. Don't carry West Point. Don't bring in Central Morovia. Because they will say the people are angry. They are all seditions. But how come they are all seditions and CDC did not win election? That's the question. It means Mosso did not vote George Weah. Eh? Or in a number. So you can say anywhere in Mosso that CDC. But all the populated or slum communities, they are populated. District 4, why they didn't vote George Weah? District 17, why they didn't vote George Weah? Eh? Let's ask the question. So Somalia, all the districts on Somalia 13, they voted CDC lawmaker and voted UP. So you take ELBC camera, you tie a class reloaded camera, then you pull information ministry camera, then you put in information ministry live broadcast on it. Or you put in ELBC, maybe they'll say information that government, so you put it in ELBC or vein. You take the camera behind Richard Kun Ya. Eh? You take this is an open challenge. We challenge you to take ELBC camera behind Richard Kun's Ya in her community. You carry the ELBC camera there and ask the people about their living condition, whether they are satisfied with the government's performance. You take ELBC camera in rehab Joe Barker's community and ask the people who are going to no stress that is owned by his son. You ask them whether they are okay with the government's performance, the economy. You take it to Jeremiah Kun's house, the community. Ask them there. You take the camera. Right in Jeremiah Kun's community, you see underage children. Toddlers, in fact. Toddlers are crashing rocks. Crashing rocks to eat. Crashing rocks to eat. To feed their families. They are bread winners for their families. In the community where Jeremiah Kun lives. Take a camera to Broadville where Gaffan lives on G4 Road. Take the camera to Pia and Gaffan live on the same G4 Road. Take it to Pia House, the community. Take it to Gaffan community. Ask the people in the communities whether they are okay with the government's performance. Take the camera to all the government official homes, the communities where they live in the communities where they live. Take ELBC cameras there. Ask the people whether they are okay with the performance of this government. You come back, go live. Go live. Let the world watch. You come back and tell the story. You will get an F. F. You will feel, I agree. Feel. You will feel, you get F. Feel. From the public. The public resentment against this government is high. Nobody distrust is high. Nobody believes anything that comes from this government. Because you came to power on lies. Now it is difficult for you to govern on lies because when you say you feared people, the people in the community know that what you fear us, what you fear us, what the fool. See what they say. These people say we did not create jobs. They say we didn't create jobs. See what they ran to the real last project. The very real last project say we did not create jobs. We have created the highest number of jobs under the real last project. 104,000 jobs in 2023. The own record from Mo Ali. The own record that he printed and submitted on his Judas show. It shows George Weah created jobs under the very project that they are proud of today. That was formulated by George Weah. 4,000 jobs, the highest on that project. Today, they are bragging of 70,000 jobs. But that's their own data. This is how deceptive these people are. And they deceive you into believing their lies, their falsehoods, their deception. Today, you are all disappointed. That is the Arix Youth Project, Honor Youth Exposed. They have not paid the people. Since 2024, they have not paid the people who worked. They still owe them. If you can hear bidding majority on 4-1, Jesus. So all of these things are happening right before us. And you want us to sit down and say, oh, because it is Joe Barker, so we should not talk? How is that possible? Let's face it. See the Ministry of Education thing and that the Ministry of Education sent to Julius. They will send it to him because they say, okay, UP station. So we can take, yes, that the media now. But listen, I'd like to close on this note. See what they say. This is the response from the Ministry of Education. Celebrating George Weah's achievement over Bwaka's achievement. Technically, that's what is narrated. Now, he said, this is the response the ministry sent me on Tuesday, January 27, 2026. And I read verbatim. Liberia School, everything I'm reading here is from the Ministry of Education. It's in quotation. If you don't go on Judas' page or on my page, you will see there. Liberia School Feeding Program, established in 1968, is a cornerstone national intervention aimed at improving child nutrition, educational access, and human capital development. Although disrupted during the Civil War, the program was revitalized in 2003 under the government's Back to School initiative and has since remained integral to the country's education and social protection systems. Oversight is provided by the Ministry of Education through a school feeding division under the Bureau of Student Personnel Services. This is an interesting part I'd like you to listen to. The program is firmly aligned with national priorities, including the Arrest or AARD agenda. Who has the Arrest agenda? Not Joe Baraka, with national priorities, including the Arrest agenda. The Education Sector Plan 2022 to 2026. Let me repeat. The program is firmly, it is stiff, it's unshakable. It's firmly aligned with national priorities. This was a priority on Joe Weah. But they made you to believe Weah was doing nothing. They told you that Weah destroyed the country. Here's the Ministry of Education, Honor Joe Barker, telling you this program is firmly aligned with national priorities, including the Arrest agenda, the Education Sector Plan. Who developed it? George Weah government, Honor Dean Soni, developed the Education Sector Plan that expires this year. It ran from 2022 to 2026. The MOE Sector Plan from 2024 to 2026. All of which prioritize school feeding and nutrition. Now, listen. Supporting frameworks include a national school feeding policy, operational guidelines, and a homegrown school meals manual. Currently operational in 12 counties. This is what I want you to listen to. Currently operational in 12 counties. Currently operational in 12 counties. The program reaches, listen, they're speaking English here. The program reaches 239,468 learners in 1,319 schools with implementation support from WFP, Mary's Meals, Liberia, Save the Children International, and Mercy Crops. The program enhances enrollment, attendance, retention, gender equity, and community resilience through local food program. But what I want you to underline to that before we go is Baka own Ministry of Education is telling you that the program the program reaches mean that beneficiaries 2,398. When they say the program reaches, it means it doesn't mean it was under Joe Barack government. Under Joe Barack government that 239,000 children benefited. But the UP folk, I don't know they got comprehension problem. They started running around saying Joe Barack government fed 239,468 learners in 1,309 schools. They clear it, you see. So Ministry of Education and clarify contradicting Baka. Baka told you that his government fed 239,468 learners. Ministry of Education said no. The program reaches that number under Joe Baka. That all. So let me break it down. It means, for example, now the program could be at around 200,000. Maybe in 2024, Baka took over, maybe beneficiaries were around 200,000. So Baka took over 39,468 persons additionally benefited. So they add up for the 39,468 learners to the already 200,000, making the number 239,468 learners. That's why the Ministry of Education saying currently operational in 12 counties, the program reaches 239,468 learners in 1,369 schools. Boom! UP Minister running around said Joseph Baka fed 239,000 students. What is that? What kind of comprehension is that? What kind of comprehension is that? Listen to the number. 239,000 students. You don't even get that number of human beings in school. So Baka will feed within the period. You don't even get the number in school. On the program, as you indicate, you didn't get a number. The number is not static. The number is progressive. So here next saying progressive tally. It means we got it for 100 that benefited. Boom, we'll put it down. Tomorrow we'll go take 200, add it on it. It go to 300. The other tomorrow we take 300, add it on it. It go to 600. The following day we take 400, add it on it. It go to 1,000. This is a progressive number. That's why Ministry of Education is using the reach in the present tense. Active verb, sorry. That's why they're using the reach as an active verb because it is like it's progressive or it's progressing. It is active, meaning that they say currently operational in 12 counties. The program reaches. The current number, the current beneficiary, aggregated number from the time the program was reactivated to current. Now, what are you talking about here? The program reaches 239,000. I don't know how. Maybe people will say that the speech writers again put that one there or paraphrase it. And you know, maybe that one will say, Kaseku, what are you doing? Maybe that one will say, yeah, Kaseku may not enter the studio tonight again. So let's take calls, folks. Let's take calls. Let's take the 6 calls and then we'll go home. Yes, let's take calls and go home. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104 are the numbers to call to be a part of the show tonight. Let's hear this person. 45.
Austin, this is Edmund Carr, and I am not visually impaired. I'm pushing for the return of President We are 2029. You know, Austin, you have shifted the discussion on our feeding program again today to handle that. And I'm such because We are talking about other government school. So if you're reporting, your report is covering 2025, do we have that kind of number of students in government school?
No, we get it.
No. Yeah. So you see what the guy, I don't know what they intend. I don't know what really went wrong. You just take number, you just chunk it. 279,000, that's not number. So that's a good one you are given to us again. Thank you. Look, and like you were talking about, the hard cost of living in the country. Yes. Because they are not getting anything from out there. They are shutting all the prices of every. Even you go to the supermarket and to the restaurant to go eat, they will inform you that the government has added something.
Oh, yeah.
So the moment the government adds something to go to them, they do have to add something to be able, because nobody operates on business on the law. But the business are not getting income. So when you are going to add up, they do what add up. So if even you boss of the rice price cannot afford to buy the 25 kg rice, am I able to afford to sink in the market at least 1,500 to buy the rice by cup, to buy the oil, to buy the fish, and buy the fruit to the back, to get them in the home? Things are actually getting bad in Liberia. Who can say we pray for the best. Thank you.
Welcome. Next person, go ahead. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Austin.
Let's hear you.
This is the Common Pool Chairman, and I'm T1P Willie. I join you from Sober District 4.
Okay.
Austin, Miss President say, happy belated Lion Day to you.
Thank you.
Austin, the way things go see here is that we are in a dream world. I can't believe that this is a reality that is going on. It's just that we're in a second dream world. Our rescue government, 22 years and still, it's not what they say. No, Austin, I swear, if that blue was a zero country, by now, then the whole country now is shaking. The people have to be like leaving their position by now. By now, this country, where president seeing planet life, information ministry coming on, seeing the other one like the finance ministry coming on with their own, these guys, they are lucky Labrador is not serious. If Labrador is serious, we won't have a United Party government in power by now. By now, they will be shaking, the street will be vibrating with people making laws, bumping things together so that they can go. Because these people, they are not only made life hard for us, they are not only, bring acquire economically to us, but they are bringing shame and disgrace. I think when you're suffering and you get proud, it's better than when you're suffering and you get shame and disgrace every day. That's what we can do. Thank you, Mayor Austin. Thank you.
Welcome. Let's talk to the next person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, it's legal for calling from Barnesville.
Okay.
Well, I would like to appreciate you tonight for what all you have said. The truth here is that, you see, this has become a cliche now in our country from the Unity Party. Every time they will look at well-learned people, and like I seem to say, they only want to know almost everything. And that's the reason for which you see they behave the way they behave. They are very arrogant. Simple understanding. They will want to play only and lie to the Liberian people that is there for lying. When the thing happens in a positive direction, they want to turn it as if to say it is negative. And when it is in the negative, they make it to appear like it's in the positive. These are things that they continue to do in the country and bringing this country to a shame. This kind of president. Asking political officer to attend it to sit down or okay, you can have your seat. Those things, the international military is very disgraceful for our country, and these are things that they always bring. See what the lies they are putting in a document now for education. See what they have done for the numbers of people that they say employed. See what they have done for the numbers of road. People say they are educated. When they do those kind of things openly and they know that people that is sending these messages to, it is not only for Liberians, it's for the international body too that is contributing to this country. So I just tell you, generally, thank you for the hard work and effort. Let God continue to praise you and bless you people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person, let's hear you. Good evening to you. Let's hear you.
They put out to come to do nothing for all. Look at the kind of lie when they probably laugh for one day. They lie when I see in front of us. They take some anything, after we're waiting for our brothers fighting for us.
is so big. That if God are fighting for our president when he speak, he will say, "Hey, so help me, God." He just says, "So devil help me." He will say, "God help me." When God, I will continue help us until 2029. When come on, one more victory. Many people they are trying to see. They can go damage her and trying to see our children raping her, raping our children. They're not taking shower and get children and 4 money all the raping her. We're scared now. So go to draw what I to the water. We can be scared before some the United Party people go there and catch her and rape her. The one way hold up people. We are scared now in the country. We don't know what to do. The country not safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Take the last. Let me see. You have 2 minutes to go, so we'll take the last 3 from here. 30 seconds each. Good evening to you. Let's hear you.
How you doing, my son?
Man, Sisi, I'm okay.
Yeah, I need this.
I'm okay. Why you supposed to call? Okay, go ahead. You are better.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm saying is that you cannot lie and use your power and still to lie the government. You can be the telephone and telephone for them now. When they told the person, "Oh, we are the end, we will come back with today," they are there with lies. The person that they go on it, telephone a lot, now you go telephone a lot. And they go put out what they see. I'm telling you.
Flower, this one, telephone.
Tell
my friend even in your team.
I tell your friend, I the Montana speaking, want to justify and go into the bright light. What's your thing to go? You don't know lie. And he's going to job, we have document. We will say, "Oh, they get all the time, and you get a document." So you get a lot of job.
Dans les mêmes printers, les problèmes. Oh.
Are you kidding me? What if no, the show I'm doing the telephone. Can you back? Okay, you want that? So get a food of when you get danger in the law, I think that's my house tomorrow. I got your collateral and let me here. 2 girls. Let me with me.
Gola, Anna Gola, a vow.
Okay, Gola and vow. Okay, I think the essence was not your rest. Gola, that's why you can ask me for him. Hey, what was officially? It's not here tomorrow. They say yes. I want to work for government in our school. What a lie to the being of in government school. In the reason school. What a lie for? What a lie to the people. When should you do that? You just like what a place. And your people come and say, "Oh, what a measure is not true." They go and very see, they're very cool. Now they very what they get. They feel illegal. It makes no sense. That's what that.
Thank you. Let's hear you. Let's talk to you, my dear brother. Welcome. Your papa not talking you. I know. For us, we used to aim. Yeah, bro. Not bad.
Yeah, I watch the program sometimes and see you have some more technical issue and things like that.
Yeah.
On the show, sometimes you go off and things like that. So if you need any background, let me know. We can talk about that, okay?
No problem, bro. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, man, with regards to the issue today, I don't know, but I just feel that maybe President, we are just kind of relaxed after the election going second round. He just kind of call President Baga and just gain the election and let the people, want President Baga, let me get President Baga.
Let's see, they're exposing, eh? Let's see. The one thing when I take it down, let's see what you do in.
Yeah, we get made that call. You say, you know what? We lose the election. Let everybody go waiting and let us see other people. Let us try other people too. Now, the lack of important is getting what they voted for. Let children, the education that children deserve, they're not getting it.
No.
You just see nothing. The men who is talking about feeding program, a food building program, eating whatever.
You have all that thing anyway. They put on quality education. You pay that loan, you get all the experience, you see coming away. You can't lay here, nothing. Every time you can, you see a different story. Look at that job thing. Ask anybody in the community, forget about all the other people there. Anybody in the community see that they're working, they can come and say, oh, I'm working. The people in the ground, they feel the thing. You know, right now, in the society that we are, it's like people, procedure, and technology, like what we're using right now. The technology exposing everything that you're doing. Look, everywhere you go, people get the thing that they can see, they can expose it, and people there, they can use their own minds, what they see, what they hear, what they watch.
And they always want to explore new procedure to access or communicate or get their way through the internet, to navigate their way through. Yeah.
And look at that, bro. We have the youth population. Look, us in that country get talented people there. Maybe I need to tell you here. Now, I'm a TSA technical support analyst.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we get problem with internet. Yeah, you get problem with internet. Yeah, you get problem with internet, cell phone, and anything on the line. That kind of job back to you. So I got a lot of experience to the thing. But in La Bra, I could now one or two tech from me. I got one of my two beginners around run the thing. I feel that you need to get some IT officer in every office. President Barra can make big promise to the beginning. I will train 10,000 people to it. They have the capacity to do it, but they don't want to support it. They don't want to get a young people job. Why are they doing that to the people? They can't. They say that to do. All they put it, the beginning get read it. No one going on. He gets just saying and just say thing. He said, "Baby, I do what you say. They love him. Stop that doing it." But the Labrimpo, you gotta decide. I'll tell you the truth. I'll leave with one thing that I want you to think about Labrimpo. Let's say, God forbid, you say got something happening to you. Between President Baka and George Weah, who you think you can call on for assistance that will assist you? You must decide where you're going to go for. Or if you think your children need better education that will put them ahead or made them to be somebody, or maybe to get job, who you think you can go to for job between the two people there, or who you think you can go to and say, look, do something for my children. The two people there, come in at the point you have to deal with 2029. Thank you very much, Austin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Folks, we have to go, but our man J Baba released a song we normally feature here. It's, Indecision. They say they want new Prezzo. We give them the new Prezzo. But they stay crying, say they're hungry, and no job. So, Thomas Sabo was on the line. Thomas, you have to call. Let me just squeeze you in, Thomas, please. Call back. Let me squeeze you in. And let me see whether I can call you back, which is possible. Sorry, okay, your call. I had you on the line waiting, and I just forgot to take you. So let me call you back because I already okay you. Okay, Thomas, go ahead quickly.
Austin, thank you for the extraordinary privilege. Let me say this. Joseph Numa Baka embarrassed the whole country image on Monday, and that Monday will never be forgotten in the history of Liberia. Because listening to our president, see he reduced flour from 35 to 35. He feeding 396,000 school-going kids. He provides 70,000 jobs. Also, even c'est on qui l'a là, c'est on all further on every. C'est on qui l'a là. I wonder why the Baptist people still keep it Baka on that Tikombo. Because what kind of old man will keep lying and embarrassing this country? So why have we done wrong to Joseph Baka? You reduce flour from 35 to 35 and give you plus 70,000 Liberians. If you plus 70,000 Liberians, also you know how many households you take from out of poverty.
Consider that each household has 4 human beings. 4 human beings. So times that, see how many human beings you're talking about.
Now you're a human being. Even government school, doesn't even public school like Austin. Now 2 million students come and go there correct on the campus. Not 2 million students, so students are using each subject to get each college have 2 subjects they're using there. They say the common public school student books are not correct. They're talking about providing 70,000 jobs. You know what he's saying? I think the government just sat down. They were exhausted. They say, they just ask give up still a national address. Boom, they can give us out to the program because we want some money and start talking plenty nonsense on money. You know, sometimes They got when you know all and when you know anything you can embarrass you properly. Look at my own man go to Mika and just talking all the thing. He just talking all
I
the
mean, I
thing.
can't brother, you spoil your into today. You're talking about the Baptist people. You see what the Baptist people
No.
still doing with Joe Burger. What the Caleb people still doing I mean to now? Say you won't put your more Baptist people.
Austin, forget what that. Austin, no, just forget what that.
Why should you forget it for?
No, Pierre is a very decent character. Everybody know. It's just that
somebody you say Burger la. More than the devil. And what the Baptist people doing? They are not brother la and say it isn't me. And then brother justifying the laugh for the devil.
No, now Austin, if your son will not be brave to go say, oh, no, my past do anything, so you just make it for everybody they will know say that your past speaking through the son. So that Pierre is a decent guy. Austin, thank you.
Mais gon, oui, quand le Pierre va être gon. Man, si c'est ici, tout le monde sait what I call it, brother. Now, c'est John brother, so quand that one, run away. But you put him on Baptist, on the Baptist digo. Et quand now, c'est John brother, now, give it, you say, Pierre a decent man. But anyway, that's the fraternity. That's why it is all about. But on a serious note, Pierre is now a bad guy. I can vouch for him. I can say that. But you see, to defend is hard. It's difficult. We know that. We've been there before. We defended before. It is difficult to defend ruling system. It's difficult. Because to solve the bread and butter issue for 5 million human beings, ain't no joke. But Joe Burger on that is worse is that they came to power on lies and made Liberians to believe that George Weah did nothing. He built no roads, he built no schools, he employed no teachers, he increased no salary, he did nothing at all. He created no jobs. At the end of the day, they conclude by saying, we are poor. He destroyed the system in the country. He spoiled the country. Nah. It's difficult for them. I see them make reference. You can see Joe, we are shining all inside. All in that photo, we are shining. They go to school feeding, we are shining. They go to road pavement, we are shining. They go to education, we are shining. They go to healthcare, we are shining. They go anywhere they go, we are shining. All in their recording. No way to take we are from there. Their own UP people themselves surprised and discouraged now. But folks, yes. Let's go.